YouTube, what's going on? This is Code. I'm here with a video. I know it's been a while. I actually have been extremely busy with my internship and I just graduated in December, so that's enough about my life story. Y'all are here to learn something about how you can perform better in esports. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about stress and how it pertains to esports. I think first it's important to define stress and get an idea for what it actually is before we jump into analyzing how it applies to gaming. So stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. I think we can all relate to a time that we experienced adverse or demanding circumstances within competition of an esport. I think competition in its very nature is stressful. There is pressure to perform from our peers, from our coaches, from our parents. The other team even takes advantage of opportunities to point out stress, and one of the easiest ways I can think to give you an example of how exactly we experience stress, say when the game's on the line or the round's on the line and you're in a 1v5, 1v4, 1v3, whatever clutch it is, and it is up to you to clutch the round. You get nervous, you start to think, your heart rate skyrockets, and all of a sudden you can barely focus on the task at hand, which is to win the round, to get the kill, to score the point. And because you're nervous and you're so worried about outperforming the competition, you end up making mistakes that you wouldn't normally make in a non-pressure situation. So I think you're starting to get the picture. Basically, with stress, we actually see a decrease in performance as levels of arousal increase to a certain point. That relationship that I just described is actually referred to as the inverted U principle, or the Yerkes-Dodson law. Basically, with the inverted U principle, on the high end of arousal, we start to see a decrease in performance, and that is one of the easiest way to show how stress makes us play worse. Now, I could go into all kinds of stuff on the biochemistry of stress and how it affects our performance just based on physiological and hormonal processes that stress triggers. But I'm going to keep it basic. You guys know that we experience stress in gaming. You know that we experience stress in esports in any competition, really. The aspect of performance that we can improve is decreasing this stress reaction so that we are less stressed out in stressful situations. I know that sounds silly. How can we be less stressed in a stressful situation? Really, it's easy. We can adapt to stress. Think about exercise. Exercise is controlled stress. Stress the body, either with weight or with aerobic endurance, which is like running and cardio and things like that. Basically, we push the body to its limit so that it experiences stress, and during the recovery phase, we begin to see an adaptation, which leads to improved performance. Now that I've explained to you guys that we can improve our response to stress, I'm going to give you some ways that you can do it. As I mentioned, exercise is controlled stress. People may think it's silly that gamers should try to exercise and get in shape because they're not engaged in a physical sport. I think we have to look past the superficial benefits of exercise, such as looking better, feeling better, being able to run faster, jump higher, lift more weight, run longer. We have to really look past all of those things and start to understand that exercise has a hormonal impact on us, and that the hormonal responses of competition are pretty much universal across all stressful situations. Because a person isn't running and experiencing that stress doesn't mean that their body isn't being taxed on a certain level. With all that said, I do think it is important for gamers to exercise, and I do think that they can see a performance benefit from getting in the gym and getting in shape. There are so many other reasons I can think of than stress for gamers to get in the gym and get in shape. This is just one of the many, and I hope to touch on more of them and start to explain to you guys why gamers need exercise. Plan on doing that in future videos, but for now I'll leave this one at exercise, and I'll begin to touch on more as we see how the feedback on these videos goes. If you did enjoy the content of this video, go ahead and drop a like, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out, and thanks for watching. See y'all later.